This video will show you how to make a quick card that you can use to give to someone for Mother's Day that's coming up on Sunday. So to your mom or your grandma or your auntie or whoever, or it could just be a card that you make for fun. It could even be a Valentine card in February. So the inside has the person's, or the outside has the person's name and a heart that looks kind of like a pieced together quilt. And then the inside says, I love you, 2 pieces, and has a few more pieces. So you're gonna need to get the supplies together that I give you next, and then it'll be a quick video to show you how to do it. So here's what you'll need. You'll need a piece of paper to make the card. It doesn't matter what color it is. I'm gonna use white because that's what I have. You'll need something to write with. I'm gonna use a black marker. You'll need glue or glue stick. It doesn't matter which one you use. And you need at least 2 colors of construction paper, maybe 3. Now, if you don't have construction paper, you can take another piece of plain paper and you can just color it, and that will give you the same effect. It might even look cooler if you have if you use different mediums, so like colored pencils and markers and crayons. It might make a cool effect, but I'm going to use 3 colors of construction paper because that's what I have handy. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to fold your card. There you go, and go to the front, and on the front you're going to draw a fairly big heart. It does not have to be perfect. There. Oh, mine is far from perfect, but that's okay. And then you're going to write the name of the person who you're going to give it to. So if this is for your mom for Mother's Day, you can do that. If it's for your grandma or an aunt or just because for someone else, you can do that. So I will write Mom because that is what I call my mom. And you guys don't have smell-o-vision, but I realized that I grabbed a Silly Sense marker and this smells like flat tire and it's gross. So I'm regretting my marker choice. So Mom, and my heart is really wonky, so I'm gonna fix it. And nobody will be able to see if you mess it up because you're gonna end up covering the inside. So that looks a little bit better. So the next thing you're gonna do is you are going to tear little pieces of your construction paper, and you want an equal number of each one. You don't need a ton of it because you're gonna be filling up the inside of it, and you want your pieces to be about the size of, oh, I don't know, like a nickel. It's okay if you have them different shapes. Some are slightly bigger than others. It really doesn't matter because you can overlap them once you go. So I'm gonna tear my paper here and I'll be back to show you what to do with it. So now I have all my pieces, and if I don't have enough, I can always tear more, not a big deal. So don't go crazy with tearing them, just get a small pile at first, and then if you need to get more, tear it. So I'm going to take my my glue, if I can get it open. So I got my glue opened, finally. You might see teeth marks on there, it's kind of gross. And I'm going to take my pieces and I'm going to glue them to my card. I don't need a ton of white glue if I'm using white glue. You don't want it to be too wet. I'm gonna put a little bit, so work in sections. And I'm gonna start gluing my pieces down, and it's okay if they overlap. Actually, it looks really cool if they overlap. I'm kind of doing it around the outside first to kind of line up with my edges. I want a little bit of black around the edge, but I don't want to like go off the heart. And then I'll just fill in the middle as I go. What you don't want is a bunch of white space in the middle. You can have like little ones if you want it to like peek out and look like that, but you don't want too much. So I'm gonna do like a time lapse so this goes quicker, and you can see how my card ends up taking shape. So here's my finished card. Well, the finished front of my card. And if you find places as you're going that don't fit perfectly, you can always tear a new piece to fit, or tear an existing piece you have to fit better. But you want to make sure that you've covered up all your white spots. It looks like there's some white here and here, but that's just glue that's kind of overlapping. It looks cool if there's parts that stick out. It's kind of hard to see texture in here. You can kind of see that they layer a little bit, and that looks really cool. So if you want to let this dry overnight and come back to it the next day, you can. Just know that you have wet glue if you chose to use like white glue, and you don't want it to stick to things. All right, so the inside, you have some pieces left. That is what you want. So you have the person who it's to across the top. You open it up. Ooh, it bled through. That's something to notice for next time. You might want to put something in between it so yours doesn't bleed through. And what you're going to write is you're going to leave some space around the edges, and you're going to write, I love you, 2 pieces, because you have pieces of paper. Make sure you spell pieces right. P-I-E-C-E-S. And then you're going to put your name. And what you'll do now is you will take a few of your leftover pieces, try to get at least one of each color, and you are going to, I'm having a heck of a time with this glue. I'm going to switch to a glue stick. You're going to glue a few pieces inside to kind of carry the theme through of the front. You love whoever it is to pieces, and you're going to put a few of those pieces on the inside. This glue stick is drying up. My goodness. And in years past, I've had students who tried to tear their heart or their little pieces of paper into hearts to put on the inside. Go for it. Whatever you want to do, this is your card, your artwork, and you know the person who you're giving it to best, and you will know what they like. Maybe one more at the top. I'll make a little one. And that is pretty much all there is to it. And these are really easy to make multiple ones of. So if you want to make one for more than one person and you have the supplies, go for it. You could also probably help younger brothers and sisters make cards too, or even older brothers and sisters if you want to make something together. And there you have it.